You are listening to Let's Talk Trio on podcasts. Keep up with the latest episodes by downloading the Podbean app or stream episodes via our social media accounts. Search for Let's Talk Trio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This podcast episode is brought to you by Longsdale Publishing. Is your program seeking ways to assess your students' college readiness? Does your program need a tool to document the effectiveness of your program? Longsdale Publishing is excited to offer the Strategic Learning Assessment, a 20-minute online assessment that provides recommendations and strategies to improve academic performance across 11 learning areas: communication, critical thinking, effective learning strategies, focus and concentration, growth mindset, persistence, seeking help, sense of belonging, stress management, test preparation, and time management. For as little as $3 per student, the Strategic Learning Assessment identifies strengths and areas for growth, along with tailored recommendations for each learning area. Want a complimentary sample account for yourself and 5 students? Contact Longsdale Publishing at 727-389-8026. Again, that number is 727-389-8026. Or visit our website for more information at www.longsdale.com. That website again is www.longsdale.com. Longsdale Publishing, your partner in student success. This episode is sponsored by Student Access. Student Access, the leader in TRIO software. Student Access is an online database solution that allows TRIO programs to track their students' information, connect with students by text messages, streamline the APR, and work from anywhere, all online, with automatic updates for changes from the Department of Education. Their technical support team includes former TRIO staff and has over 50 years of combined experience working with TRIO. Make it easier to focus on your priority, the students. For more information and to request a free demo, visit their website at www.studentaccess.com or call them toll-free at 1-800-801-1232. That website again is www.studentaccess.com or 1-800-801-1232. Be sure to share your favorite episodes on your social media by tapping that share button. This is a great way to support the podcast. Now here's your host, Juan Rivas.
Thank you, Amelia, for that wonderful introduction. Hello, Trio Nation, and welcome to this episode of Let's Talk Trio. This is Season 7, Episode 34. I am your host, Juan Rivas. Before we begin, some community announcements. Trio Nation, your voice is working. While Congress is moving to protect TRIO funding for 2026, we must remain vigilant. Administrative shifts still threaten the stability of TRIO grants. Take action now by calling your congressional representatives today. Thank them for their bipartisan support and urge them to ensure TRIO programs remain fully funded and operational without delay. Remind them that TRIO works. North Carolina Central University is hosting their annual Student Access and Success Conference in April 2026. Click the link located on the episode description to learn more. In today's episode, we have Elijah Mason, alum of the TRIO Student Support Services Program at Colorado State University and current grad student at Capella University. This is Elijah's second appearance on the pod. She is back ready to provide updates on her current life journey. Coming up in just a bit, Elijah Mason. A heartfelt thanks to our individual supporters, Angelica Villalpando, Rosario Riley, Dr. Ryan Barone, Dr. Jamie Motley, Dr. Jeff Naputi, Angelica Valdez, Felicia Rivera, Eric Lamaster, Jeff Calden, Rick Martinez, Don Blue Sky Hill, and Jaded Electronics. Thank you to our corporate sponsors, TrioJoblist.com, Nosotros Education Center, Longsdale Publishing, Student Access, and TheTrioStore.com, powered by Proforma. Visit www.thetriostore.com, your source for Trio graduation stoles. Thank you all so much for your continued support of this podcast. You too can sponsor the Let's Talk Trio podcast. Head on over to Patreon and search for Let's Talk Trio. Choose one of 4 patron levels. You can support this podcast for as little as $1 a month. If you own a business that serves the Trio community and want to sponsor the podcast, we have different sponsorship packages available. Contact us for details. Become a supporter with a one-time donation to the podcast business PayPal account. Our business handle is @Let'sTalkTrio. Your support helps lift Trio voices. If you would like to nominate a participant, staff, or alumni to be on the podcast, send us an email at letstalktrio@gmail.com. That email again is letstalktrio@gmail.com. Again, a great episode featuring Elijah Mason, current grad student at Capella University and alum of the Trio Student Support Services program at Colorado State University. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. Hi, Trio Nation. My guest is a friend of the podcast, returning to provide us with life updates. She graduated from Colorado State University in the fall of 2024 with a degree in psychology and is an alumni of the Trio Student Support Services program, part of the Academic Advancement Center at CSU. You can listen to her previous episode linked in the episode description. We are happy to have back on the podcast, Elijah Mason.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, Elijah. How are you doing? Also, I noticed your name changed. You went from Sandoval to Mason now.
Yeah, I'm doing really good. I got married. We got married on April 1st of 2025, so we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary. It just so happened to be our 10-year anniversary when we got married, so we'll be together, married for 1 year, together for 11 years.
Wow, congratulations, and huge milestones on various ends, which we're going to dive into. The last time you were on the podcast, you were still a student at Colorado State University. What has changed for you since you first appeared? What has changed?
Yeah, so like you said, I graduated with my degree in psychology. I am starting my master's program words. I'm starting my master's program with Capella University. So I'm getting my master's in clinical mental health counseling. That's a very, is it related to psychology still? Like, that's going to be easily, okay. Yeah. So what it is it's the route that you go down when you want to become a licensed therapist.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah. So that's the dream. But yeah, I got married. We moved from Fort Collins to Denver. So I'm back in the city. I'm working at the DA's office for Arapahoe County. Yeah, just a lot of changes.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit more about your job. We were talking pre-show about the things that you're doing for Arapahoe County. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. So I am what is called a Records Intern. And basically what that means is I take all of the old case files and I scan them and turn them into digital case files. There's a lot that goes into it. It's really kind of convoluted. It took me a while to get used to it. But that's basically what I do is I take case files from early 2000s and turn them digital. And then destroy them afterwards.
Wow. All right. What can you tell us a little bit about the journey that you had in college and what did it teach you? Because now that you're graduated and you're in what a lot of people like to call the real life now, what have you learned?
I have learned so much. I'm so thankful for the journey that was Colorado State University. Definitely had its ups and downs. And all universities have that. Life has that. You can't avoid the downs, but you celebrate the ups when they come. And it really just taught me perseverance and pushing through, especially through those downs,
Mm-hmm.
because, sometimes those downs can be like, they can feel like they're weighing you down, like they're drowning you. Like, no matter what you do, you can't get up, you can't catch your breath, but
Mm-hmm.
just pushing through and relying on the people who are around you, leaning on those people. Um, yeah, that's what it taught me. It was a wild ride, but I'm thankful for it nonetheless.
Now, some would assume that because you majored in psychology, you would go into like a counseling route or some sort of career related to that. Do you feel like your current career is still related, or you're using your degree to do your current job?
Currently, I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't see how I'm using my psychology degree. I guess I kind of am using it with my coworkers. Like, I know how to talk to them, I know how to interact with them. I learned how to ask like clarifying questions and do what is called like the information interview kind of thing, but I do that
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
inadvertently. But because it's the DA's office, there is a section where the DA works with victims and victim advocacy. And that is a route that has been presented to me way back in my community college days. And it wasn't something
Mm-hmm.
that I like thought about again. But now that I'm there and I have my foot in the door, I've been talking to a lot of the people who work in the victim advocacy, and it sounds like that's the route that I want to go. So I will
Wow.
be using my degree in that way.
That's awesome. So it sounds like your career is continually evolving. Like you're looking for avenues where you're interested in. Like that's where the field you want to be in.
Yeah, exactly. I want to help people, and any way I can, I am happy to do so.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Are you seeking guidance to enhance your TRIO project's effectiveness and success? Look no further. Nosotros Education Center, NEC, is here to empower your TRIO project with expert consulting services. NEC's mission is to promote the effectiveness and impact of TRIO programs. Since 2003, NEC has specialized in providing professional development and in-service staff trainings, allowable cost services, for TRIO projects across the country. The team at NEC, with over 60 years of combined TRIO experience, offers customized workshops and seminars for project staff, compliance assessments, external evaluations, working on and submitting APRs, database customization and training, development of policies and procedures manuals, and project implementation or reorganization services. Additionally, NEC has secured over $774 million in federal funding with a 92% success rate through their live and on-demand proposal workshops, assistance with data collection and review, detailed technical reviews, and comprehensive proposal development services. Join the hundreds of colleges, agencies, and TRIO projects across the country who benefited from NEC's expertise. Nosotros Education Center, your partner in TRIO's project success. Visit their website at nosotros.edu.org. Again, that's nosotrosedu.org.
And now back to the podcast. Would you say that the careers that you're thinking of, have they changed at all, or do you think that it's stayed the same, or do you feel like it's still changing? Like it could potentially change.
I feel like it's still changing. Like I'm always evolving, I'm always changing as a person, as a human. My interests of, helping people and being a voice to those who have none, that really has not changed. It's the path, the way that I go in order to do that has changed.
Mm,
Before I wanted to work in like higher education and help students. Now I'm thinking bigger. helping victims and becoming a victim advocate, or, doing what I can in the DA's office, working with the public. But
Hmm.
the core of being a voice and helping others, that is always going to be who I am. That part isn't going to change.
Right on. Awesome. Um, so can you share with us what it felt like graduating from CSU, especially, right? Like this was a moment that was building for you. What did that feel like?
It felt so surreal, honestly. Like, it didn't dawn on me. It was like kind of a delayed reaction until they called my name and I walked across that stage, because CSU has changed the way they do graduations. They don't call the names like they used to. It's sort of a weird way how they're doing it. Like, they do a university wide graduation, and then each colleges are responsible for their own thing. So I was the last person to walk in Moby, like one of the last classes to walk in Moby and walk across that stage and get my diploma cover handed to me. But it felt so surreal. It felt like it was a once in a lifetime moment. Like, this is what I've been working towards. This is what I have spent like countless hours, tears, sweat, blood, all of that, like working towards this moment. And it was funny because I had decorated my grad cap, and I wish I had it with me to show you, but I did not do this alone on my grad cap, because I didn't. Like, I had so many people in my corner, and I put little fairy lights around my grad cap to light up the words, because I wanted to like make it known that I didn't do this by myself. I had help. And it was funny because I had people coming to me after graduation going, I was able to find my student because of your cap. They told me to look for the lights and I was able to find it. And I'm just like, I'm so happy I could light your way. Like, that just makes me so happy, because that was the point, is that I wanted to be the light for somebody else. I wanted to be that anchor for somebody else, because so many people have been the light for me, and I wanted to pass that on. My mom was there, my grandparents were watching on TV, my brother was there, my husband was there, my best friends were there. My husband's former boss was there. So it just was like so many people were there celebrating this moment. And I'm so happy and so blessed that I was able to share it with them.
What a beautiful kind of analogy and metaphor to what you experienced at your graduation. Because one, you're celebrating your monumental success and being able to graduate from CSU. But two, it to say to have the lights that you had on your cap and then people being able to locate their graduate, like that's very helpful and how uh like indicative of where your career is going.
Yeah, it was
That's
so
awesome.
cool.
So you were also doing mentor work at the Academic Advancement Center with Trio Student Support Services. Um, One, do you miss it? And what did you enjoy most about the position?
I miss it every day so much. I miss the campus. I miss the people. I miss Trio specifically because I feel like with Trio, I was able to really grow and blossom into the person that I wanted to be, not the person that I was supposed to be, but the person that I wanted to be. And, Trio taught me about compassion. They taught me about patience. They taught me about really not judging a book by its cover, not judging a
Mm.
student by their age or their background or anything like that. And I'm forever grateful to have those lessons and to take them with me. I do really miss working with the students because I feel like I was able to be a beacon to some of the students, to be like, hey, I'm first gen too. I'm low income, but look at what I'm doing and you can do this too. Let me help you. What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do? What is your dream career? Let's help you get there. And that's why, like, for the longest time, I wanted to work in education because I felt so fulfilled working with these students and hearing their stories. And every semester, I would get a new group of students, and it was like I would learn something new every semester. I would learn whether it was a new way of interacting with people or a new way of talking with people or just a new way of thinking. I was just always learning, and I absolutely love that, and I miss it.
You majored in psychology while at CSU, as we already covered, and you graduated with that degree. And you shared that you're looking to further your degree at Capella. So, what is it that you're looking to in terms of career wise? What does that look for you? What does that look like for you? And um, what is the potential career that you'd be looking at?
Career wise, I'm not sure. Honestly, just whatever happens to come along right now, I'm riding the wave and seeing where it takes me. Um, what I'm looking to do, like I said, is my ultimate goal is to help people, to be a voice for those who have none.
Hmm.
And whatever way I can do that, I will do it to the best of my ability. So like before it was working with university students, college students, first gen. Now it's working with victims and becoming a victim advocate. Who knows, maybe next year it'll change again.
What guidance are you receiving to take this next step as you go into your master's? Are you getting any coaching, advising, anything like that?
Yeah, so I have my grandfather is my biggest supporter. He was a college professor, so he's him and I have been and him and I have been talking, especially because he was a lawyer, and he taught criminal justice at the University of Metro. So him and I have been talking a lot. I've been leaning on him and his support. I've also been leaning on another CSU alum, Sammy Trout. He's one of my best friends, and he actually is the one who got me a job at the DA's office. And him and I have been talking about what I can do to continue the work within the DA because he was actually doing what I'm doing right now, and now
Hmm.
he's working there full time.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so it's like I'm relying on other Rams to help me find my path. I'm relying on my husband because he's my biggest cheerleader, trying to figure out like what do I want to do? What would work better for me? The people at Capella University, I have my academic advisor, his name's Andrew. He's been a great support as well. He's been talking to me about what my different options are, what it looks like to go. Like I've been talking about possibly switching to social work and what would that look like, and just asking a lot of these what if questions. And he's been there every step of the way. So I've just, I have people at work who I talk to all the time who are like, you should really do this or you should do that. And I'm like, okay, well, why should I do it? What makes me good for this position or what makes me good for that position? And we have a conversation about it. So it's just, there's so many.
Absolutely. And as you're sharing about this next step and then going into this master's program, what have you learned about this process in selecting a graduate school? I think a lot about the first generation students who get tripped up during this process. Like they'll either apply super last minute or they're not gathering enough info on the grad school. So yeah, how did you navigate that entire thing?
TikTok.
TikTok. I
Yeah.
mean, it is a social media thing, so absolutely.
I I really didn't know where to start. That
Mhm.
and that's something that we see a lot with first gen students is not knowing where to start. And I really didn't have friends who were in a master's program. They're either working or they're doing their own thing.
Sure
So
thing.
I was like, okay, well, where do I start? So I literally just I was scrolling TikTok one day and I was like, this would probably be the best place to start. So I like literally just searched psychology master programs, and a whole bunch of things came up. And, there were some out of state programs. There were people who were talking about a day in the life of a psychology PhD student or a psychology master's student. And I found a couple online schools, and I was like, well, that's interesting because one of my best friends, he went to a fully online school to get his MBA. So I was like, why didn't I even think about that? Like, so it sparked that, oh yeah, he did this thing. So I called him up and I was like, hey, how was it? Because I remember him and I would go to the library while I was still in school, and we would study together, and he would tell me about these tests and his assignments. And I was like, I have a firsthand knowledge of these online schools right here in front of me. Why don't I just use that? And so we had like an hour and a half conversation about online school, what it looked like, what I need to look for, because he did his research. Granted, psychology and business are two different subjects, but I was able to take what he did and kind of morph it into something for me. And I learned that a lot of schools that are online are accredited through like the higher education department with the US government, but they're not CACRAP accredited. And CACRAP accreditation is very important in the world of psychology because that's the road that leads you to become a licensed clinical therapist. You need to go to a CACRAP accredited school in order to take the licensure test. And I learned that a lot of these schools aren't accredited. So I was like, okay, well, this is a path that I want to go down. I need a CACRAP accredited school. Let me do another search. And I found Capella. And I was like, I've heard some good things and I've heard some bad things. Again, with everything, you take the good with the bad. And I reached out. I talked to Andrew. He was my first point of contact. And we spent 45 minutes on the phone, just me asking all of the questions. And a big thing for me was my GPA, because unfortunately I didn't have the GPA that I needed to have. And he was like, that's no problem. We'll enroll you in a certificate program. And then once you finish those two classes and you pass with a 3.0 or higher, then we'll get you set up to apply for your master's and get going on your master's. And what was really important to me is he used the words when. Like, when you pass these classes, when you get accepted to these programs. Like, and that to me meant more than really anything, because it wasn't an if, it was a when. And that was just like, okay, he spent 45 minutes on the phone with me. I would email him almost every day asking another question. Every day he would respond at answering my question, and it didn't seem like he got annoyed or anything like that. So I was like, let me give Capella a try. And I did, and I passed my classes. I had an unfortunate family circumstance happen, and my professors were very understanding about it. And yeah, so that was just a long way of me saying that was my process.
Absolutely. I think it's a trial and error thing, right? Like you're trying
Very
to
much
figure out
so.
where you want to be and where you want to go. Um, and glad that you selected a school that fits exactly with what you need.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's very much trial and error.
What would you recommend if a student is seeking a master's program? Let's say it's in your field or maybe another field. What's some things that it can do proactively to get started?
I would recommend talking to if they have friends who are in master's programs, talking to their friends, talking to professors, trusted individuals, talking to family members if they're in master's programs. But really, as funny as it sounds, I would recommend going on social media and getting firsthand experiences of these universities and of these colleges and seeing what fits. And then I would also recommend not discounting fully online programs because, we hear like there's a stigma around fully online, like master's programs or PhD
Mm-hmm.
programs. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, if that is what works for your schedule and you are somebody who thrives online, or you just aren't able to commute to a campus every single day, don't discount it. Look into it, talk to people, gather some more information, because then you'll be able to see like, oh, this actually might be what's best for me, or this might not be my cup of tea, like just explore out of your comfort zone. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because for me it took a bit for me to finally say okay to Capella, because I thought, it's a master's program. I have to be on campus. I have to do this or I have to do that. And it's like, no, you don't have to. You do what is best for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think in that process of learning what online programs can offer, and you're right, I think there's a stigma around online learning, especially when it comes to um, certificates or master's programs. Um, do you think what do you think needs to happen in order to kind of remove that stigma from online learning?
I think a lot of that stigma comes from our elders and people who have been like, I've been I went to an in-person university, therefore you have to go to an in-person university. Or say like the stigma around online learning not being accredited or being a bunch of BS, or not having, like, yeah, you don't have the same interactions that you do in person.
Hmm.
But I have noticed that doesn't take away from the education, because yeah, you go to school to make friends, you go to school to have certain experiences, but I feel like with your masters, you're just like, I'm focused on my masters, and or I'm focused on a PhD program and or a graduate level program, and that's what I want to do. I 95% of the time an individual doesn't have time to go to campus or have friends, they're working or they're taking care of a family or, whatever. So I think just more people should experience online learning and realize that, hey, this actually is the same education, the same benefits that I would get in an in-person classroom.
Absolutely. And talking about learning and raising awareness, Elijah, as you know, and you've probably seen a lot of social media posts about this, about Trio still being in kind of a delicate balance of being funded and then having folks advocate in terms in for Trio. What are some things that you're doing to promote or raise awareness of Trio programs to still be an active voice for Trio?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing this. I'm still have a lot of friends who are first gen, a lot of online friends who are first gen, and I'm always talking to them about looking on campus to see if they have a trio program on campus, and then if they don't, looking online to see if there's like an online version of trio. Um, that's another thing, is I really feel like there should be an online version of trio, that
Mm,
because
hmm.
I feel
Hmm.
like it would get a lot more people involved, and it would be pretty cool and like more accessible. Um, Anytime somebody asks me about my time in university, I always tell them, like, I make a point to say, like, I was a trio student, and it really, really helped me because I had, not only did I have my academic advisor, but I had my trio advisor, and I could literally pop into their office and be like, hey, I have this question about this random ass thing. Can you help me? And 95% of the time they could, or if they couldn't, we would sit down and we would research the answer together. Like, I think I've done that to you a few times where I come into your office and I'm like, Hey, I have this really weird, convoluted question. Do you think we can answer it, or do you have an answer? And we would research it, or you'd be like, oh, yeah, it's this, this, and this. It's like, okay, cool, thanks.
So true. And I think advocacy, always raising our voices, you're doing a great job already as a graduate of CSU, and then moving forward with your career. So, yeah, advocacy at all levels, always important.
Oh,
Looking
yeah.
ahead, what are some things you hope to accomplish?
Oh, boy. Um, that's a very good question. Wow, I
You might
think
not
you
like the
actually,
next one.
yeah. Um, Man, I'm hoping, you know, we'll say like current future, like a year from now, I'm hoping that I have a full-time job at the DA's office. I'm hoping that I'm in full swing of in the middle of my master's programs, looking at practicums and residencies because I still have to fulfill, I think it was like 100 hours or 600 hours of um, therapy. I'm hoping that, yeah. Sorry, I wish I had a better answer, but like I said, right
No,
now
yeah,
I'm kind of just riding the wave and see where it takes me.
absolutely. What are your top goals for 2026?
Okay, are we talking like personal goals? Are we talking career goals? Because I have a few.
That it's an open-ended question, so you take direction that you want to take.
So, personal, this is gonna sound really silly, but I'm reminded because you're wearing a Rockies hat. I One of my goals is to go to opening day for the Rockies,
Right on.
and I'm actually going to be doing that, so I'm excited. So that's a goal that I can check off. I have You can see like there's a bunch of stacks of books behind me. One of
I
my
do. I
goals,
see a lot. Yeah.
yeah. I have 335 total books, and I'm hoping to organize my office and organize my library by genre. So that's a big undertaking. Um, I have been thinking about kids, but it's something that obviously me and my husband need to talk about more. But I'm hoping that we'll be in a place where we are like, yeah, for sure, we're having kids, or no, we're not. Like, just having those conversations. And I want to be more involved with my university because, just because it's online doesn't mean I don't crave that connection piece. So I'm hoping that I'm able to find things to do within my university to be more connected to people and still continue my work in higher education with students.
That's awesome. So going back to the Rockies thing, so I hope opening day goes well. Uh, I'm a recent convert to the Rockies, as you probably know, like 3 or 4 years ago. Left the Dodgers, came to the Rockies. We're a miserable organization right now, second to last in the
Yep.
MLB, which is not the best. So
Yep.
the bar is low, right? The bar is low
Right.
for this upcoming season. We're just saying, do better than you did last year. That's the hope.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, and plus, like, going to Rockies games, like, yeah, baseball, if you think about it, it can be boring sometimes, but you're going for the
Sure.
experience.
Oh,
Like, I grew up going to Rockies games, and it's the environment, the people, like, you can't, there's nothing like it.
oh,
And
absolutely. Yeah.
plus, like, the way I look at it, yeah, they're second to last place. We're not last place. So at least there's that. And
Absolutely.
the only way to go is up. So
Absolutely. This was our rock bottom, right? Let's hope this was rock bottom. I've heard folks say on social media that, and I also saw some statistics online that the Rockies consistently still sell out. Like they're a profitable team. And then someone on social media says, because you go for the vibes. You're not there to say, oh, we're going to win. You're not the Dodgers organization. You're the Rockies. You're just like there for the vibes. You're there for the good times, win or lose.
exactly. Exactly. And honestly, I feel like we can take a page out of that and put it to its life. It's like you're here for the vibes.
100%.
Like
100%.
there's no winning, there's no losing. You're here to have fun and you're here to let loose and you're here for the vibes. I love that.
Yes, I 100% agree. I think that's what got me to switch over to the Rockies. I was like, the Dodgers were so focused with winning, and it made me just like, they're like, oh, really? That's the type of organization we are. So switched over to the Rockies. Life got much better, I will say, even in the
Yeah.
down times.
Yeah. Welcome to the dark side. We have cookies.
I love that. That's awesome. So, Elijah, what additional updates do you have for the audience or that you would like to share with the audience?
Yeah. I talked a little bit about getting married. It was a beautiful ceremony. So our anniversary is actually on April 1st, April Fool's Day. And
Was it worked out that way? Like, was that intended?
so the way, let me kind of back up a little bit. The way that me and my
Yeah, go for
husband
it.
met, I met my husband a week after my father had passed away.
I'm so sorry.
And thank you. And the day that we met, or the day that we made it official, I should say, was my dad's memorial service, which was March 31st. And I was like, I really don't think it would be a good idea to have our anniversary be the same day.
Hmm.
So, we can let's try and find something else. Like let's see what else there is. And it just so happened that it was after midnight, so it was April 1st, and he was like, why not April Fool's Day? And I was like, really? Like,
That's
aren't you
unique.
worried? Yeah. And he was like, no, we're both goofy, we're both silly, we both have this like happy-go-lucky attitude. Let's make it April 1st. And I was like, okay, yeah. And that's how that happened. So, um, April 1st, 2025, our wedding date was our 10-year anniversary. And now we're coming up on 11 years together, 1 year married. It was,
That's magnificent.
yeah, it was literally like, I think you've seen the pictures. Like it felt like out of a storybook, the way that our wedding was put together. It was very small. There was 20 people, including all of us. And the thing that I'm most proud of, because we all know how expensive weddings can be, it was under $5,000.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
So very budget. Probably on a follow-up episode, we need to do how to save money on your wedding.
Yes, exactly. One of those things we can do is get married on the off season. That's number one. Get married on the off season because April 1st is the off season. But yeah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
happy to do that.
Other updates?
Like I said, we moved from Fort Collins to Denver, so I'm happy to be back in my city. Um, my husband got a new job that pays a little bit better. So we decided to move, and now we live in, instead of a two-bedroom apartment, we live in a three-bedroom apartment. So I finally have my own space. I have my office. Um, and yeah, we're just, like I said, I'm just riding that wave and seeing what happens and seeing where life goes. But I can honestly, 100% confidently say I am so happy with the way life is going right now. I would not change a thing.
Right on. Awesome. Well, Elijah, it was good catching up with you. Any other things that you would like to share before we end our podcast?
Well, we got to think of a name.
Oh yeah. What are we titling this episode?
Still chaotic.
Still chaotic.
Still
I like it.
chaotic. Because I know last episode was chaotic organization, and we're still chaotic. We're somewhat organized, but we're still chaotic.
Somewhat organized, but I like the still chaotic. I like that.
Yeah.
Parting words of wisdom before we end.
Let me think. Just ride the wave. You never know what it's gonna do, where it's gonna take you. Sometimes it'll take you surprising places. Like, never in a million years did I ever think I would be working at the DA's office, but here I am, and I actually really love it. So ride that wave. It might be scary. It's definitely going to be scary because, waves are big and scary and you got to worry about that undertow, but the destination is worth it. I promise.
Wonderful. Elijah Mason now.
Yes, sir.
With, alumni of Colorado State University and TRIO Student Support Services, now currently enrolled at Capella University, pursuing a master's program. Thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, of course. And just remember, TRIO works.
Are you a participant, alum, or staff of a TRIO program? Do you want your program highlighted? You or your program could be featured in an upcoming episode of Let's Talk TRIO. Get a hold of us by going to our Facebook page or Instagram and send us a direct message. Search for Let's Talk TRIO. We want to get your story to the public.
You just heard from our guest, Elijah Mason. Thank you, Elijah, for being on the podcast and providing your updates. Remember, if you would like to be on the Let's Talk TRIO podcast or know a staff, advocate, participant, or alumni, send us an email at letstalktrio@gmail.com. That email again is letstalktrio@gmail.com. A heartfelt thanks to our individual supporters, Angelica Villalpando, Dr. Jamie Motley, Dr. Ryan Barone, Dr. Jeff Napudi, Angelica Valdez, Rosario Riley, Felicia Rivera, Eric Lamaster, Jeff Calden, Rick Martinez, Don Blue Sky Hill, and Jaded Electronics. Thank you to our corporate sponsors, TrioJoblist.com, Nosotros Education Center, Longsdale Publishing, Student Access, and the TrioStore.com, powered by Proforma. Visit www.thetriostore.com, your source for TRIO graduation stoles. Thank you all so much for your continued support of this podcast. You too can sponsor the Let's Talk TRIO podcast in one of three ways. Become a monthly patron on Patreon. Our base level starts at $1 a month. Become a corporate sponsor by placing an ad on the podcast. Contact us for details. Become a supporter with a one-time donation to the podcast business PayPal account. Our business handle is @Let'sTalkTrio. I'd like to take a moment to thank our honorary members of Let's Talk TRIO podcast, Roderick Chambers, Tony Ho, Scott Kendall, and Susan Cramp. The Let's Talk TRIO podcast team is John Russell, audio engineer, music producer and composer, and post-production editor. Amelia Castañeda, script supervisor, marketing manager, social media manager, and producer. Juan Rivas, executive producer and host. Be sure to follow the Let's Talk TRIO podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. This episode was recorded Saturday, March 21st, 2026. Thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode.